Hello, and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and we're back in Edoras. So, after the last encounter on the previous episode, we need to find Gríma's home and see what else he's keeping inside. So, Gríma's home is, well, to the northeast of Meduseld, and which one exactly is his house, I'm not sure. That one over there, but as usual, an amazing day, an amazing, look in LOTRO. This deserves even more pictures, but let us... You have found the entrance to Wormtongue's chambers. 2 further treacheries await within. Well, we're about to find out. A marked page in one of these books reads, "No mere wheat, E." Okay.
It would seem that we are not the first to search Gríma's chambers this day.
What else do we have here? The chest is tightly locked and you possess no key for it. A crude map lies on this table, but you cannot discern what it represents. These books detail the geography and history of Rohan, but contain nothing of note right now. Okay. Carved into the table is a crude presentation of a crying eye. This drawer contains linens and fine clothes, rumpled now and in disarray. This cabinet stands empty. Did someone get here before you? Beneath the chair you find a golden key. Perfect. Inside the chest you find items to Barite to belong to Gríma, including a valuable sword. Théoden, the king's sword.
What did you find there?
That is Théoden, the sword of Théoden. It is possible that the king asked Gríma to keep the sword safe in his chest, but such safekeeping is no longer necessary. I will return Théoden to its master once I have brought Éowyn word of his release. For now, bring these other items to Gríma in Meduseld and see what he has to say about them. These items are both too Barite and too valuable to be his property. I'll warrant, and his explanation for possessing them should be interesting. Interesting indeed. I do agree with you, Hama. Don't you love the skies in Rohan? Indulge me a little bit while I find the best angle in here to take a cool picture. Yeah, I'm gonna take a lot of them, as you can realize by now, maybe. Maybe not every single flight of stairs, but what about, for example, the view of Edoras from up top? Let us check that. Yeah, take a look at this. Looks beautiful. And this sort of sentinels, I suppose, sitting there standing guard. As far as I remember, these guys were mentioned in the books. Not entirely sure right now, but they do ring a bell. Just wanna see if we can get a picture of Edoras. Yeah, the entirety of Meduseld on the frame. Just a few of those. Okay, now let us confront Gríma. So hey, I just realized, Aragorn, this is the first time you and I meet since I've been wearing these clothes, right? Well, you do have the Elfstone, the Berlin here, your Cloak of Lorien, of course, and Andúril, and its shit as well. So even on these garbs, you probably still have more lineage in them than I do. But still, this is the first time we get to take this kind of picture. I gotta say, I think this outfitting here is close as you can get to both the movie and in-game representation of Aragorn in his ranger garbs. So once again, I enjoyed this one too much.
Every one of those items was a gift.
What are these things? Why do you show them to me, vile man? You explain that the goods were taken from the chest in his chambers and demand an explanation. Every one of those items was a gift, Gríma hisses. You are the thief. I demand that you return those things to my chambers, and when you return to my presence you come bearing an apology. I have suffered at the hands of these ingrates, and now my own possessions are being paraded before all the court, and my name dragged through the slime. These are the thanks I receive for my months of tireless service to the king? You are a liar, man, and a thief. Your voice drips with poison and your words are all false. I curse thee, and beg that some kind heart will defend me from your insults and your slander. And well, what does Théoden have to say about it?
Where did you get these items?
You say they were found within Gríma's chest? I see. Théoden casts a dark look in the direction of his former servant. I will have one of my men restore these items to their proper owners. I am of a mind to send this worm back to his proper owner as well. Would it be a mercy, I wonder? On this day, and in sight of his continued crimes, I am more interested in justice than in mercy. We have light armor. No. Here we have medium armor, fate and finesse. And we have heavy armor, which is a very nice armor. So I'm not entirely sure. Well, I think we can wait a little bit longer before upgrading our armor. So I'm gonna take the heavy one, so that I can start working on a new outfit.
Wait. There is one item you should return yourself, as its owner is here in the hall.
Théoden scowls and hands you a delicate cloth. On a corner of the cloth is embroidered the name Éowyn. I am not so poor a judge as to think my sister-daughter Éowyn intended Gríma to have this token of her favor. Return it to her and she will tell you for whom it was intended. Where's Éowyn? Okay.
I remember this token. I gave it to my brother to bring him good fortune in battle.
Éowyn accepts the embroidered cloth from you with surprise. I remember this token. I gave it to my brother Éomer to bring him good fortune in battle, and he wore it on his ranging throughout the mark. It must have been taken from him when he was confined to his chambers by my uncle's command? No. The command was my lord Théoden's, but the words were Gríma's. My brother's confinement was carried out by those men Gríma selected. One of them must have taken this token from Éomer and given it to Gríma. Had I known this, I would not have allowed it. Bring this token of mine to my brother, and tell him our uncle is restored. He is being confined to his chambers in Edoras, north of Medusel. Cool, we're gonna meet Éomer once again. It's been a long while as well since last time we saw him. So let us see how he's holding up. North of Medusel. But which way north exactly? We'll need to see. But now that we are here, allow me just another minute, because this fountain here, I think it looks fantastic. And I just wanna snap a few pictures in here. Because yeah, take a look at it. Well, we had already taken one, but now that it's daytime, we can get a new one as well. Oh yeah, that's stuff. Take a look at this. Oh, great. There are so many screenshot-worthy locations here in Edoras. Is this a place? No. Ah, here, the guards on the door and everything. You have found the entrance to Éomer's chambers, where until today he has been imprisoned by command of the king. Well, not for long. Yeah, he looks so weird not having his armor, but we are about to correct that as well.
Thank you for bringing me these tidings, friend.
Beriathan, I am glad to see you are well. Hama has brought me the news that I am free to leave, but that is not what lightens my heart. The most joyous tidings are that my uncle Théoden has awakened to the fact of his peril, and his treacherous counselor has been dragged to lie. Éomer accepts the embroidered cloth from you and crushes it in one fist. This was taken from me by Forthair, one of Gríma's men. I am pleased to have it back, but I would sooner teach Forthair a lesson about respecting the belongings of others. I was treated well enough by the guards outside my chambers, but my inability to do anything for my family or for Rohan was the cruelest fact of my imprisonment. I spent many hours studying the map of Rohan in the room upstairs, trying to develop a strategy for the defense of the kingdom that could not be undone by Saruman. Go, study the map yourself, and see if there is such a strategy I might have missed, for I came up with little of use. So upstairs we go. Is any of these men Forthair? Okay, this is the map. Okay? No, seems to be an invisible wall. So what do we have here? A map of Wildermoor, a map of Helm's Deep, a map of East Rohan, well, the Wall to be precise. Region of the Kingstead. The royal riding of the Mark is among the most fertile and pleasant regions of Rohan. Green grasslands with scattered farms and crofts can be found between the rivers Snowbourne and Swiftwater. At its southern end, along the White Mountains, woods of oak and pine cover the hills. On a large hill stands Edoras, the greatest city of the Eorlingas, where reigns Théoden, son of Thengel, from the Golden Hall of Medusel. Before the city itself stretched the battlefields, where sleep the kings of Rohan in death. Behind Edoras, the valley of Harrowdale follows the Snowbourne deep into the White Mountains. A winding trail leads into the heights, arriving eventually at the high plateau of Dunharrow. Beyond the dark wood of Dimholt lies the Dark Door, but the paths beyond are no longer traveled by mortal man. In the region of the Eastfold, The East Fold is counted among the oldest writings in the Mark, and the city of Alberg was once a rolling seat. Now the city stands among crumbling ruins and a lightly wooded vale. To the east, the Fen March lies along the banks of the Entwash, filled with wildflowers, tussocs, and newly greening reeds. The old north-south road can just be seen along a causeway by the fence edge before falling into the oak forests of the Everhold. The royal hunting forest of Everhold is home to many creatures, and its shady expanse is dotted with hidden caves and burrows. And that's the sigil Éowyn was wearing downstairs. The writing of Broad Acres is wild grazing land for the horses of the Western Net and the ancestral home of the Mearas, who once ran along these plains in large herds. Now the land is fertile and the rich soil is covered in grey-green grasses. The towns of Stoke, Thorsbury and Osserley can be found in the Broad Acres. The Stone Deans are a rocky, inhospitable land of cracks and broken stones, from which the Rohirrim mine metal for weapons and other goods. This writing is that most similar to Dunland in the west, and intermarriage among Rohirrim and Dunlandish folk is common. Woodhurst is the largest town in the Stone Deans, but Brockbridge to the south is of strategic importance. The writing of Westfold is a land of green-brown grasses and lush woodlands. 3 rivers flow out of the White Mountains: the Green Brook, the Woodwell, and the Deeping Stream. In the west, the land rises to meet the Gap of Rohan and then drops sharply to the Fords of Isen. In the southwest, the green grasses run into a ravine in the mountains, the Deeping Combe, which becomes rockier and narrower as it goes. The ravine is called Helm's Deep, and it is home to the fortress known as the Hornburg, which stands atop the Horn Rock. The Deeping Stream issues from a cavern mouth at the tip of the deep. The caverns beyond are the glittering caves, full of crystal, flowstone, and deep pools. They are a great wonder. You study the map of Rohan for a time, but few strategies present themselves to you that could stand against the armies of Saruman. So let us discuss this with Éomer.
Return to my sister and give her my thanks and my love.
Did you find some strategy that could serve us against the armies of Saruman? Sadly, I did not, and I had more time to think on the problem than you had. There's no shame in it. Our strength lies on the open fields, but against such numbers as you say Saruman has assembled, I do not think our strength will suffice. The mark is not as defensible as we need it to be. Return to my sister and give her my thanks and my love. I will see her when I return to the hall with Hama. Perhaps we will look at the map once more and see if there is something we have missed. No, we'll see. We'll see, because now... well, the countdown has begun for the people of Rohan. So we need to be quick indeed in finding this strategy and setting the plans in motion. Oh my god, but... Rohan, say anything you want about Rohan. It of course has its low points, and not a lot of people are fans of West Rohan, as far as I know, because once again, it's very linear, and since you can get 5 trait points by doing, you need to do every single quest in West Rohan to get those 5 trait points, so that gets very old very quick. But one thing you can't deny about it is it looks beautiful, and it looks amazing. And seeing Meduseld in the morning, oh my god, what a sight to behold.
My brother is free of his cage? I delight to hear it.
I delight to hear it, for soon I too will be free of the cage that binds me. Éowyn's smile brightens her face in the same way as does the sun breaking through a gap in the cloud. My cage is not made of metal or wood, Beriathan, but it is a cage all the same. In time of peace, it confines me to the Golden Hall and its outbuildings, but when war threatens, it cannot hope to withstand the force of our great need. I am a shield maiden of Rohan, and I shall take up sword and spear to defend this land and its people. My uncle must surely ride now to Isengard to challenge Saruman, and I will not hesitate to take up arms and ride with him.
All the people of Rohan will need to stand if the kingdom is to survive.
But their king must do so first.
The time has come for Théoden to step beyond the confines of his hole.
The time has come for Théoden to step beyond the confines of his hall and look out over his city. Speak to the king and see if he is willing to do this, Beriathan.
I am ready to look out upon my city with unclouded eyes.
Free from the shroud of Gríma's whispers, will you walk with me as well? It would be an honor.
Théoden King has stepped beyond his hall to look upon the kingdom. What will he see, I wonder? And will it move him to strike down the evils arrayed against his people?
Well, we're about to find out, but there you can see in the distance, Éowyn is wearing a white dress. So that is the dress she's supposed to wear at all times on West Rohan. The blue dress we've seen her so far, that was supposed to only come after she moves to Gondor. So yeah, some sort of glitch, some sort of bug, but this is how Éowyn is supposed to look in game. Théoden King has gone ahead with Gandalf, Beriathan. Do you think he has forgiven us? I know in my heart we're returned for the good of the kingdom, but it is a serious crime to disobey the word of a king. My heart is aflutter, friend.
We returned in time, but should we have returned at all?
Oh my god, don't say that right now, Éowyn. We did the right thing. And I'm sure you know that. Éowyn still believes we will be punished, but my mind is not troubled. We returned to Théoden at the right moment for forgiveness. Was Gandalf not sent away with equal force? And yet now he has the ear of the king and speaks wisdom to him. We returned without the insight of the wizard, but we bring something valuable, all the same. Warning of Saruman's reach and power. That warning too has value to the king, and when he chooses his course he will weigh what we have to say alongside the words of his advisors.
We returned with time enough to protect the king. That is what matters now.
I do agree with you, Orn. Aragorn, once again, long time no see. And even though, well, it's not your kingdom, but you are still a valuable asset for them, nonetheless. And yeah, why not? Let us take another picture with him. A little bit closer, if you don't mind. Yeah. That's it. Now let us talk to him. Now we will hear the commands of Théoden and learn if we have truly come to him in time. Rohan stands at a crossroad, and it is up to her king to choose the correct course. We will help him choose a right to the sorrow of Saruman. It is not magic that Gandalf uses to cure Théoden of the hurts that Saruman and his agent Gríma have wrought. No. Our wise friend seeks to cure Théoden with words. Words of friendship and hope. Already I see it working.
I place my trust in Gandalf. He has never failed that trust.
What now? Well, we need to talk to Gandalf. I think we're gonna, for the time being, at least. So what now? The air is fresh and clean, Beriathan, and the tall grasses sway in the breeze. From here we can look out over the fields of Rohan. See how the sunlight dances upon that distant river? It has been some days since Théoden beheld his own lands, I warrant. Gríma gave him report of them, but always in such a way as to advance his own ends, and those of Saruman, his master.
You speak of a secret hope, Gandalf, but my heart is heavy. Alas for Boromir of Gondor! Alas for my own son, Theodred! The young and strong perish, while the old linger on. It is a cruel turn.
Your strength is not gone, my friend. It lacks only your sword to return in full force.
Ah, where is Herogrim? Gríma took it to keep it safe. Where might he have stowed it?
Take this blade, my lord. It was always yours to command.
Arise, riders of Théoden.
Command us, my lord.
We must stamp out the threat of Saruman. Hama, bring Gríma before me. This time he redeemed his treachery.
Aye, my lord.
But you, my guests, deserve the hospitality of my house. I have been a poor host.
No, Théoden King. The men of Rohan must ride today, and we will ride with them.
Yes! You will be welcome, Aragorn, as will your friends.
Be not overconfident, Théoden King. Isengard is strong, and other perils there are also. After we have gone, you must not delay. Lead the rest of your people to the hold of Dunharrow.
My people will go to Dunharrow, but I will not bring them there. I will ride to war, to fall in the front of the battle, if that is the need.
The Lord of the Mark will ride.
Who then will lead your people to safety?
I will think on that before I go. Here comes my counselor.
My lord, you should come in from the hot sun. Your meat is nearly ready. Can others not deal with these troublesome guests? Let Gríma send them away.
No, Gríma. I will ride to war as I should have done long ago. You will ride with me.
Okay, we need to talk to Gríma now, but just wanna take the picture from different angles, just in case. Gríma's not gonna like this. Gríma's eyes dart back and forth from face to face, sizing up the assemblage. My lord, can you not see what this wizard and his ragged band seek to achieve? They do not care for your health or for your safety and seek to lead you into danger. Your death will grieve them little, but there are those close to you who would mourn even the smallest hurt to your person. Listen to Gríma and come back inside. Abandon the madness these cruel ones have instilled in your mind. Let me send them away. Speak not of war. That is a young man's endeavor, and you have ruled the mark for many seasons. Will you not listen to your faithful Gríma? Send me not away.
But I do not send you away, Gríma. I ask you to ride at my side and thereby prove your faith. Will you do this?
A lord of the house of Éowyn may have the stomach for war, but I am only a humble servant. Let me stay behind, a faithful steward to keep your hall until your return.
Gríma hisses at you, his eyes narrowed unpleasantly. Do not disturb my lord more than you have already. He is weary and needs his rest. Only when you and your irksome friends leave his lands will he be once again at peace. Do you hear how desperately he wishes to be relieved of this charge? If that plea does not excuse Gríma from war, I can think of no other that will. I would not trust him to carry a sack of grain into the mountains for fear he would steal either the sack or its contents, whichever he thought we would desire more. My uncle is no fool. He will not humor this request. Enough! Gríma succeeds again, if not at his truest goal, then still at one of value to his master. For Saruman is his master, and every hour we delay plays into his hands. We can spare no more time on him.
He is not a man, but a snake. You cannot bring it safely along, nor can you leave it behind. Give him a horse, and judge him by the choice he makes, whether to ally with you or with Saruman, his master.
No, do not harm him. My mercy is now ended. If I see him again, it will not go well with Gríma. I go forth to battle. It is like to be my last riding. And Theodred, my heir, is slain. Who shall I leave behind to rule in my stead? Is there no man? In whom do my people trust?
We trust in the house of Earl.
But Éowyn is the last of that house, and I need his sword arm. He cannot be spared.
I did not name Éowyn, nor is he the last. There is his sister Éowyn also, fearless and true of heart. All love her. Let her lead the Erlingers while we are gone.
You speak wisdom, Hammer. So it shall be. Éowyn will rule the people in my stead and lead them to Dunharrow and safety. I ask that you and your friends help her with this burden.
Well, I'll do my best. I have long known there was strength still in this land, and in its king. Théoden's decisions on this day are not a surprise to me, and they should not have been surprising to you either, Beriathan. Well, as a man of Gondor, I do know what the men of Rohan are capable of, so no surprise to me either. Just glad to see the king ride into war.
There is strength in Théoden, and that strength will flow into his people.
If its king is strong, so will be the kingdom. Gladly will I ride to Isengard with Théoden and his men, there to demand Saruman cast down his staff. Friends of mine were endangered by the commands of that wizard, and I have a debt to repay on that score. You and I both, Aragorn.
I have been given my freedom, and now I ride to war with my king.
It is a far better day into which I walk than the one I left. We will show Saruman that Rohan is strong. For too long he has done as he will, but now we will remind him that this land is not his to despoil. My road leads west, with a king, but he has asked you to assist Éowyn at Edoras. I am certain there will be no lack of deeds that will need doing, but if you have an opportunity, perhaps you could see how fares Alberg in the Eastfold. That town is my home, and it would be a comfort to my mind to know that you have kept an eye on it. There is no hurry. Assist Éowyn with her preparations here first, but keep Alberg in mind while I am away, if you would.
It is good that Théoden takes action to protect his people.
Saruman's greatest ally for these past months has been the inaction of Théoden, sown by the whisperings of Wormtongue. How many orcs were given free passage across the fields of Rohan? Even one would be too many, and it was much more than a single orc. I do not say that Théoden rides to victory. It is good that he comes forth, but the armies of Saruman are vast, and I do not know if the Rohirrim can meet them on the field.
For too long have I stayed beneath the roof of my home.
No more will I delay. I will ride forth to Isengard with my warriors, and we will remind Saruman that the Rohirrim still live. My sister-daughter Éowyn will chaff at my command that she remain behind and make the people ready to leave Edoras, I know. But she will carry out my wish. Speak to her outside the Golden Hall, and lend her what aid you may in this. Well, yeah, she's not gonna like that. Théoden does know her very well, I would say. Alright. There we have Éowyn, there she is.
There is no honor in this. Why must I stay behind?
Why must I remain behind while my brother and my uncle ride to war? Do they care more for Rohan than do I? No! I would fight as hard for the people of the Mark as any man, and mayhap with even greater ferocity. Éowyn's eyes blaze with a dangerous fire for a moment, and her fists clench and unclench. I will do as my king commands, Beriathan. This duty has been given to me, and I will carry it out as best I may, though it be not my desire. None will say that Éowyn betrayed a word of her king. I will protect the people of Edoras and see them to safety while the battle rages elsewhere. It may come to us in the end, and if it does, I will be ready. I will need your help in the meantime. Agility, vitality, power. Yeah, this one looks nice.
There are many things to do before the people can leave for Dunharrow.
There are many things to do before the people of Edoras can leave for Dunharrow. My uncle's command must be brought to the townsfolk, wagons must be loaded with provisions, belongings gathered, and there are like to be some naysayers who refuse to follow the king's will. Take this proclamation and read it before the people at several locations throughout the city. Start with the market north of Medusa's Steps, and then work down through the streets of Edoras. Word will spread quickly. It has already begun to do so, but the king's command must be brought to the people so the preparations for their departure can be made. Not everyone will be pleased with this, Beriathan. Be kind if you can, but keep your resolve strong. This must be done. Théoden King has commanded it. Alrighty. So yeah, let us look first for the market square to the north. As far as I know, as far as I remember, we need to complete the entire book 11 before unlocking the other quest in Rohan. So for the time being, the epic is the only thing I do. Back in the day, this also received a mixed reception, because once again, this is a very linear path. There is not much else to go. This market is a good place to read the proclamation. So you either do the things in the order the devs created them, or you don't, which is very different from how the game was in the early days, and not a lot of players liked it. But sometimes, for the sake of the story, this kind of concessions have to be made. I don't mind it particularly much, at least not this section in Edoras. You read the proclamation aloud, and several people nearby begin to mutter darkly. Amwyn grumbles, but reluctantly agrees to leave Edoras. Yeah, don't make it harder than it is already. Battlehill reluctantly agrees to leave the city. Okay, yeah. You need to do your part. Everyone does. Everyone is doing their part. It's a command of the king on top of that, so there's not much use in resisting it. By these stairs is a good place to read the proclamation, yeah. An old woman seeks to catch your eye. Yes?
Do you have a time to spare an old woman, tidings bearer?
I have heard the commands of Théoden King and would obey, but it has been many years since Etred felt the bloom of youth, and I do not have the strength I once did. My belongings are bundled in this crate, but I cannot carry down the hill to the Dunharrow wagon without help. The wagon is to the north of here, if you follow the road. Can you bring my possessions to the wagon north of here? Just follow the road. Etred will be in your debt. Yeah, sure. Okay, this should be it. You leave Edward's belongings on the wagon, as she asked. Let us look for another place to read this proclamation. This entrance courtyard is a good place to read the proclamations. Let us do it. A small child seeks to catch your eye. What is it?
Everyone must obey the word of Théoden King.
I heard you read the words of Théoden King, and I know everyone who is not going to fight needs to leave Edoras. But those men over there were laughing, and I heard them insult the name of the king. You're not going to let them escape justice, are you? Everyone has to obey the word of Théoden King.
What gives you the right to order us out of our homes?
Maybe those are the commands of Théoden, and maybe they are not. Maybe they are the words of Gandalf. Maybe the wizard is working against us and just wants our treasures for himself. Do they not say that trouble follows him wherever he goes? I will teach you a lesson, man. I will teach you what happens when you do the bidding of wizards. You don't want to do that, really. Yeah, pack up your things and go. Don't be a fool. Let's read the proclamations in here. Several people nearby begin to grumble. He eventually agrees to obey the king. And Tolkien agrees to leave Edoras. Back to Éowyn it is. Really fast, actually, reading this aloud. Now, where do we need to go now? Okay. Navigating Edoras is kinda tricky at first. I mean, we will be back and we will climb the stairs many times over, but the first few times, yeah, are a little bit confusing. Until you learn the lay of the land, but it does take a while. I love this track. Sounds really peaceful and inviting.
It will be some time before all the people are ready to leave, but this is a start.
You have done as I asked? Good. It will be some time before all the people are ready to leave Edoras, but every journey must begin with preparation, especially one as important as this. What do we have here? These gloves are a very nice addition to our gear. Well, I think I'm gonna take those gloves. So you can see here this ring we have not equipped yet, and I think I'm gonna, yeah, I think we're actually gonna improve here. Yeah, perfect. And we're gonna take these DPS gloves.
Gríma has fled the city, but I believe some of his allies remain.
There are still so many tasks we must see to completion before the people are ready to leave Edoras. But something worries at the back of my mind and divides my attention. When you searched Gríma's chambers with Hama, you told my uncle that the room was already in disarray, as if it had been searched before you arrived. Why would Gríma leave his chamber in such a state? If he was seeking something specific, surely he would know where to find it. No, I think his room was searched by someone entangled deeply within his schemes. Gríma has fled the city, but it is my belief that this ally at least remains. Among the papers you collected was the cryptic phrase, "Namir Wheat, he," and a number of other writings. I do not know what they mean, but mention is made of a number of locations throughout Edoras. Go to some of these and see if you can find sign of Gríma's friends or allies. Okay, here we have the writings I will need to check. Let us equip these two. None of us are doing this for free, Worm. Remember that we expect to be paid well for our services. If you think we're common brigands, you aren't as sharp as that blade you carry around. If you aren't careful, you'll find it in your back next. And maybe the old man will find another to do his bidding. Maybe that's one of us. You say you can't grant me the perk, but I'm not dealing with the sort or jewels on my own. If the old man values you as you say he does, why is he not giving you the run of the place once it's all done? L. On another parchment, in the same hand, F says he'll bring the weapons out of the guardhouse on the morrow and leave them by the side wall, and you are certain the king will stay inside? We have not seen him in weeks, but he does still command the loyalty of the people. Only he can stop this, now that E is imprisoned. F assures me that E will not be a problem. He spends day and night poring over the map, raging against his confines, but will not disobey the king. L. On a scrap of parchment in a different hand, the Blood-Eye thinks we should act quickly. He says Gandalf is coming back. How could he know this? H. This page is almost illegible, written in a hasty hand. Which tower? There are several along the northeast wall of the city. I do not know if L is going to put the wood at the proper tower. You need to talk to him before we act. H wanted me to ask about the contents of the chest as well. You say it will burn, but it is very sturdy and may not spread to the southeast gate. If the chest burns but the fire does not spread, H says it'll be your head. F. So yeah, kinda cryptic, but we can discern a little bit from it. F, no doubt, is a fourth heir, the man Éomer mentioned. E was Éomer, of course. Now, who is H and who is L? That's the question. So, gotta check, well, the barracks I think it was, for the weapon locations. The east gate, the northeast towers. They are conveniently marked on the map, thank God. Let us check all these locations and let us see what we find at each one of them. Do we need to enter this hole or do we need to look around? No. Here we have it, the weapon. These weapons are out of place. Why were they moved here? Why indeed? The northeast towers, and they are looking to spread a fire too, and that doesn't sound good. We do need to check that. Stop the fire before it even begins. Rebecca, so this one is H. Rebecca was an ally of Wormtongue, but are there others? Yes, they are. Did someone put this pile of timber here with plans to set it ablaze? Yeah, we just defeated him. And he has a very short respawn rate, so gotta leave the place before we trigger him again. White mountains there on the horizon. Minas Tirith is just on the other side. Well, not exactly the other side, like crossing this mountain, but we are really close. Beriathan is really close to home. But of course, the people of Rohan need our help first. Leofing! Do you really want to fight me? Leofing was an ally of Wormtongue, but are there others? Yes, they are. Oh, you see, they respond too fast. But yeah, there we have it. Leofing, Rebecca, the 4th heir. I think that was all of them. So we need to go back to Éowyn and tell her. Okay, so yeah, you saw that chest over by the gate. The chest they are saying will burn. So it seems we did not take the chest, but most likely what it has inside is some black powder to set the gate aflame. So let us see what Éowyn thinks of all this. We're only missing 4th heir, basically, so we're making progress.
You found some of Gríma's allies and defeated them? Good.
Those snakes would have caused trouble for us, especially once my uncle rides to Isengard. I hope that was all of them, Beriathan. I still do not understand all of the mysteries you uncovered in Gríma's chambers, but perhaps we have indeed the schemes that were plotted here. My uncle and his riders are ready to depart. Bracelet of conspiracy. Yeah, let us take this.
My preparations continue, but my uncle's are complete.
Now he rides to Isengard and to war. I will remain behind as he has commanded, but my thoughts will dwell upon him until his return. Enter the Golden Hall and see if he has further commands for those of us who will remain. Alright, well, I think we'll leave that for the next episode. We advanced a lot today, but of course there are still many things left to do, as our adventures in West Rohan have just begun. For the time being, this has been all on today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.